And Angel Reese, after injuring her wrist last season, getting surgery on her injured wrist, has now injured her wrist again and looked in severe pain in the Rose win in Unrivaled.
Trainers hurried to her side as her teammates stood frozen in disbelief as Angel Reese collapsed to the ground, clutching the very same wrist she had surgery on the previous season. Her face spoke the entire story of sheer devastation, and this wasn't even the most bizarre portion of the evening.
So things continue to heat up in Unrivaled as DiJonai Carrington ends her season.
That same evening, another game. Even Lisa Leslie, who never criticizes players, was unable to defend what happened after DiJonai. Carrington got thrown out for going after Shakira Austin despite losing 6 inches in height. This is karma striking twice in one night. Let's clear up the chaos that could potentially alter the playoff picture.
But if I'm being completely honest, Angel Reese, while gaining another double-double, her efficiency was not that great in the game, and she kind of did resort to a lot of chucking the balls up.
Did you see Angel Reese's face when she fell to the ground? Everyone understood exactly what occurred when she clutched her wrist. It's the depressing sense that you know something is very wrong. Angel was already having trouble against the vinyl that evening, missing more shots than she was making with only 5 for 13 from the field. But what transpired next made her shooting difficulties look insignificant.
5 for 13. There was a point where she did fall down. She comes up holding her wrists, and if you aren't aware, she did have a wrist injury last season. So a lot of people are wondering if she has been re-injured. I don't think she was.
You recall all the arguments last season when commentators and social media experts questioned whether Angel Reese was truly injured or merely making excuses. Well, the answer is obvious now. This isn't just any injury we're talking about here. It's the exact same wrist she had surgically repaired.
It's an annoying one. And again, I just remember during the year when Angel Reese landed on her wrist, and then you can see her just kind of doing this, trying to get in and playing. And then it was oh, she faked the wrist injury. It wasn't real. And it's you can literally see where it happened in the game.
I believe she just fell hard, but knock on wood, she wasn't hurt, but that was something that happened. And could the timing have been worse? The video from the game is just heartbreaking. You can see Angel on the bench clutching that wrist with that unmistakable look of devastation, that face that says "not this again," while her teammates stand around her completely helpless. What do you even say to someone in that moment? The WNBA season is only 2 months away, and the Roses are already entering the playoffs. Angel attempted to shake it. You could see her trying to play through it, but the grimace she made every time she moved her wrist revealed the truth. While some injuries are manageable, wrist injuries are essential for basketball players because they affect everything they do on the court.
I think she just fell hard, and knock on wood, hopefully she wasn't injured. But that was also something that happened.
Right now, the true question isn't just whether she can complete the unmatched season. It's also whether she'll be prepared for the start of the new WNBA season. And it's not just any game. You know exactly which one we're talking about. That May matchup between the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever that has basketball fans going crazy.
But there literally was footage of her on the bench holding her wrist in pain and looking almost angry. Look, people thought from looking at it that she was crying, and it's oh no.
However, this isn't just another scheduled game. We're discussing tickets that are allegedly fetching thousands of dollars. Why 2 words? Everyone has been waiting to watch this game unfold, and now that it's in severe jeopardy, Caitlin Clark, the most anticipated player in the league in years, and Angel Reese were meant to be there for that face-off.
And the last thing you want is another another wrist injury from one after getting surgery, because look, the season's 2 months away. If it ends up being another injury, maybe not one that requires surgery, but another serious wrist injury, you're looking now at going into say May, June for her to come back.
While Angel's drama was playing out, something truly astounding was taking place throughout the league. How can someone who truly owns a portion of the league lose their own game? DiJonai Carrington just gave us a masterclass in self-sabotage that no one could have predicted.
Sorry, that first game of the season becomes significantly less relevant if Angel Reese is not there. And it's a pity as well, because she's been killing it.
Everything began with what appeared to be a small occurrence. Players receive texts all the time, so it's not a huge problem that Courtney Williams checked DJI hard during play, but Carrington's response earned her the first technical penalty. However, what followed laid the setup for one of the most odd moments in league history.
DiJonai, how do you own a league and you end up getting kicked out of a game that's going on in a league in which you own? How does that work?
When Dee chose to take on Shakira Austin, who towers over her, she wasn't merely making a basket. Consider the statement she was making. Carrington is sacrificing a few inches of height advantage while continuing to aim for the block, which might be due to confidence or something else entirely.
Shakira Austin gives this nasty block onto DiJonai Carrington.
She knows that she loves me in every play, every moment.
I don't know if DiJonai took that personally, but a little bit later on in the game, DiJonai Carrington kind of tries to block Shakira Austin, who's, I don't know, like a foot taller than her. It looks to be a hard foul from the game, and this is how that played out.
And so everybody's upset, except for Unrivaled. Bray emerges from the pack and it goes to got hit hard, and she claps hard in the faces of Carrington and Jackson.
The play wasn't what shocked everyone. Rather, it was the aftermath, where KIR Austin clapped right in his face while words were exchanged that obviously crossed a line. You could literally hear the entire crowd go, when whatever Carrington said went way beyond normal trash talk. The block attempt itself was aggressive, perhaps crossing that line between reckless and competitive.
One on Shakira Austin and one on DiJonai Carrington. That is DiJonai Carrington's second.
We just got word that Carrington was ejected. She is on the bench.
If you know anything about Lisa Leslie, you know that she almost never criticizes players. Instead, she is the first to say let them play or defend players when things get heated. However, this time, even Lisa was unable to defend what happened when someone who defends players in practically every situation won't defend you. You know you've gone too far.
Okay, now Blanca Burns is coming over to let her know she's got to go.
This is where things get really crazy, but the officials didn't hesitate for a second technical immediate ejection. DiJonai isn't just any player being dismissed. She is actually one of the league's proprietors, the same league that expelled her from her own competition.
So let me break this down. So DiJonai, technically you are a part owner of the league. So you are a part owner of the league. You are responsible for some of the officiating decisions, some of the foul calls, some of the officiating. DiJonai Carrington, how do you get ejected from Unrivaled, folks?
When officials had to personally take Carrington off the court, the situation became even more embarrassing. Dean's "don't touch me, brush off" motion was uncannily similar to what we've seen from Skylar Diggins in the past, and the similarities were too obvious to ignore.
Okay, now Blanca Burns is coming
Go
over.
on, brush your shoulders off.
She's gotta go.
Ladies is pimps too. Go. Don't touch me. she does the Skylar Diggins. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
When 3 of your biggest stars are removed from games in a single season, is it really just about following the rules? Or are these referees utterly missing what makes a new league truly survive? The statistics paint a heartbreaking picture. That fall from grace might just be the beginning of something unparalleled overall. When Angel is off the court, viewership drops by 30,000, but these officials continue to send the most marketable players to the shows.
I don't know what DiJonai said, but it must have been real bad because the whole crowd said, ooh, and Lisa was not on her side. Usually she supports players even if they're wrong. She'll say something like, let it play out, or it was a bad foul, and move on, but not this time.
The dominant Lunar Owls are licking their chops right now because they know Chelsea Gray and Azure Stevens are suddenly carrying a load that might be too heavy even for veterans of their caliber. The Rose have gone from being championship favorites overnight to just another team searching for answers, while they managed to pull off that victory against the Vinyl. The playoff mountain just got exponentially steeper.
Lisa Leslie was a little like miffed about whatever the situation was. She did not seem to like what was going on. So I can't say I know what was going on. But in DiJonai Carrington's last game of Unrivaled, because the Mist have been eliminated for the playoffs, she just gets the boot.
Consider this. When Angel enters the court, the audience reaches 800, but without her, it drops to 500. For a young league attempting to make a name for itself in an already crowded market, that is more than just a statistical footnote. It is a financial catastrophe waiting to happen. Basketball as a sports landscape is first and foremost entertainment, followed by competition when attempting to start a new league from scratch.
DiJonai gets checked by Courtney Williams, damn near tackled, and then she gets a technical foul for, quote, poor choice of words. What was the vetting process like for these referees over here at Unrivaled?
Social media absolute wildfire fallout from Carrington's ejection fans aren't just dissatisfied. They're openly wondering whether the league comprehends its own product comments. It seems like they're throwing out all the bad guys and nobody is watching anyhow. These aren't just random trolling. They're warning signs that Unrivaled might be shutting down before it even gets established.
Recap. Basically, the vinyl stunk it up. Ryan Howard went 2 for 20. I don't even know how that's possible. And that's just what she did in the field. She went 0 for 8. She was not having a good night whatsoever.
The trend is unavoidable. 3 of the league's most marketable faces, Rod Jackson, Angel Reese, and now DiJonai Carrington, are all watching games from the locker room rather than drawing attention to the product. Of course, regulations must be followed, but there's a big difference between upholding the integrity of the game and totally misinterpreting the entertainment industry you work in.
Who's in charge of this? I know the founders, Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, but I still don't know. Is there a commissioner? Is there a governing body? Is there a president? Who do I voice my concerns to? Who do I voice my gripes to? Is there an HR department?
Basketball is unmatched in terms of learning anything from that blueprint because it appears that they are currently reading from a completely different playbook, one titled How to Kill Your League Before It Starts. Recall that the NBA changed in the 1980s and 1990s, not by over-officiating, but by allowing personalities to shine, such as Magic Bird Jordan.
DiJonai Carrington, she's getting assaulted by Courtney Williams out there. Technical foul number 1, and then for bad choice of words. This is insane. Do you expect anything less from Unrivaled? Oh, you don't. You really don't.
Because controversy without stars actually playing doesn't sell tickets. It just creates YouTube thumbnails that lead nowhere. The larger question looming over all of this drama isn't just about this season's championship. It's about whether these incidents create the kind of controversy that actually builds long-term viewership, or if they're just alienating the small but devoted fan base that Unrivaled has managed to build.
Man, DiJonai Carrington gets 2 technical fouls for bad language in a league that she has part ownership in. These referees are awful. DiJonai Carrington can't trash talk. She can't say, yeah, give me that.
In just a few hours, we witnessed Angel Reese and DiJonai Carrington's worlds turn upside down. You don't have to believe in karma to question whether there is something cosmic about how it all happened. One night, 2 careers could have been destroyed.
DiJonai Carrington does a lot of jawing on the court. Maybe the ref was like, you're out, get out of here. And of course, this isn't our first ejection that we've seen in Unrivaled. We saw Rickea Jackson get tossed in Unrivaled.
What matters most is what occurs next. The real plotline isn't even about who wins the Unrivaled trophy anymore. It's about whether we'll see Angel at her best when the WNBA season kicks off. Basketball fans have marked that date on their calendars for months, and we'll find out if she'll be ready for the game. Angel's future is in jeopardy as she deals with recovery once more. Will she return with the same force? Can she regain her confidence?
Angel Reese gets tossed. Rickea Jackson gets tossed. Folks, they're saying they're tossing all the baddies. They're tossing all the baddies out of Unrivaled. Rickea Jackson, get out of here. Angel Reese, sayonara. Who's left on this DiJonai Carrington? You. Take a hike, lady. Are these refs just jealous?